In this video, I'm going to show you how I found my dental architects, how much I pay for dental architects for 8 of our dental clinics, and most importantly, explain why they are super critical for your dental practice building process. Plus, as a bonus, I will show you one of our dental office floor plans as well. But first, you have to ask yourself, why do we even need dental architects? Can't we just design it ourselves? Alright guys, for those of you who had this thought, don't be embarrassed. I too thought I could do this by myself when I first started, and I looked pretty dumb. And that's okay because we're all learning. So back when I started my own dental scratch start, I sat down and designed my dental clinic as well. I drew an outline of the clinic floor and then started to draw in the front desk and chairs, sterilization, compressor rooms, bathrooms, and everything else. Where most people would give it to the construction team, I actually had help from my dental supplier to make me a CAD rendering. CAD stands for Computer Aided Design, and it looked good, and I then gave it to my construction team. But as you know from the title of this video, I was missing something, and that is the architect. The construction team told me to get an architect, so I went on my journey to find one. Oh, and by the way, telling my story here is good because you will be well equipped to make your own dental practice. So I will show you how I found my architect. The easiest way to find your dental architect is to ask your dental supplier. It's the simplest. The dental community is actually quite small and everyone pretty much knows everyone, or of everyone within a given region. So that is pretty much the 100% guarantee you'll find a dental architect. But are they good? Meh. That's another thing to worry about. So it goes to my pro tip number 1. Ask at least 3 different architects from your local dental supplier. They will 100% have contacts for you. So why 3? Well, it could be more, but I tried 3. The reason is that prices can range from $5,000 to $15,000. It's wild. Later in this video, I'm going to go over how much I paid my dental architect for 8 dental scratch start clinics. So pro tip number 2, get at least 3 architect bids. But before you get these bids, you must first and obviously research these people. Which brings us to pro tip number 3, Google your dental architects. Actually, this is an easily missed step. In fact, I didn't even do it when I first started. But while I worked in the dental industry years later, I heard things, and that's when I realized sometimes some companies aren't the best. I just trusted the words of the people that I worked with. I got lucky, but some may not. Now that you got some architects, let's go into pro tip number 4. Ask the architects a set of dental questions. While talking to some dental architect companies, you'll find that they're quite different. Each company has a persona, if you will, and you'll have to find that right fit for you. Some of the questions I ask are, do you specialize in dental clinics or just do them occasionally? How many dental clinics have you planned? What's your usual turnaround time? Which basically means how soon can you get it done. It's important to ask these questions because some architects don't even do dental clinics at all. It's a niche within a set industry. In fact, you see this in our dental industry as well, in the case of molar root canals. Yes, general dentists can do them, though if it were me and I needed a molar root canal treatment, I'd go to a specialist who does molar root canals all day and every day. Oh, and by the way, no hate on general dentists. I'm one as well. But anywho, it's the same thing with architects that do dental planning as their main thing. Okay, next. After you talk with them over the phone, you'll meet them in real life in your future dental clinic. They will come in and you'll have to explain your overall plan to them. And they're going to do some drawings and notes. After that, we wait for quotes. Because you've done your due diligence and you use pro tip number 2, which is getting 3 bids. And you'll be able to weigh out the pros and cons based on the estimates that they give you. Congrats! But now we have to figure out how much they cost. It's easy to just throw around numbers or whatever, but I put together something special for you guys. This is a chart of how much I paid for our 8 clinics. I put in ranges for 2 reasons. I don't want to expose my architect's guy's actual pricing. Like I said, it's a small dental community and everyone knows each other. But if you want his business, let me know. I'm sure he'll like that. And number 2, sometimes there will be additional fees, stuff like unforeseen additional items that they have to draw up. But this happens in everything like construction and your dental practice, or as a dentist, you think a patient who doesn't need a core buildup for a crown, and it turns out that they do. But nonetheless, these estimates are accurate. So here we go. These are written in order. I purchased 3 scratch starts from the beginning of my journey, but Robbinsdale was my first scratch start and my first experience with a dental architect. So we shall start there. When viewing this chart, notice how I included the square footage. This is because square footage makes a difference when getting estimates. The larger the square footage, the pricier it becomes. So here on the right, you can see the architect cost for all of our projects. So why pay all this money? Anybody can draw lines and measure stuff, right? No. It's actually very similar to patients stating, why are implants so expensive? It's just a screw that you screw in, right? No, it's not. Anywho, their job is to identify and plan everything. Yes, they figure out items such as types of flooring, cabinets, layout, chairs, regular door or barn door, placement of plumbing pipes and electrical outlets, and so forth. But they also identify non-physical stuff like ADA laws, also known as the Americans with Disabilities Act, parking requirements, fire suppression laws for the city, fire exit plans, maximum occupancy of the clinic, outdoor trash requirements, and minimum space around where the doors open. Literally everything. But they don't really know your vision 100%. Yeah, I mean, they have a general idea because this was discussed when you hired them when you had your first meeting, but after contracting with them, you'll be involved a great deal. So, what does the complete communication look like? Well, first, we have our initial meeting on site where we explain the grand vision. And then they start taking notes on their drawing pads, like, and then they go to work. Second, they'll reach out to you with an initial drawing and a bunch of questions, sort of like this. Bah, look at all these red comments. These are all questions or suggestions. Look at all this work that they've put in. Dang, that's a lot of work. This document will be sent via email. Well, it is for us anyway. Third, you'll have to respond to them and it will look like this. So it's pretty much our team's response to all the questions and comments in blue. So this is pretty much all of our team's response to all the questions and comments in blue. Each comment or question by the architect is addressed. We put numbers on each comment and give them a document with each item number. This process will go back and forth probably a few times. It's a tedious yet very important process. This will be the drawing instructions for a construction team in the future. So with all that work, your drawing will look like this. This is the final version of our West St. Paul clinic in Minnesota. Hooray! And no worries. And there's no need to pause this video because in the next video, I will go over this layout in detail. This particular project took about a month with our architect to complete. Now you know how much it costs to hire an architect and what the process is in hiring one and working with them. You now need to know what setup is good and where to place the operatory rooms, sterilization rooms, and front desk rooms, and dentist rooms, break rooms, and much more. I'll go over all of that in the next video. After all, this knowledge will be helpful to know before you meet your architect. Cheers!